Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about the film Elvis, which is a 1979 TV movie. This is continuing my quest to review every film that John Carpenter ever directed, and because I'm a completist, I am reviewing this film, a TV movie biopic about Elvis from his beginnings till his 1970 TV special. And it stars Kurt Russell as Elvis. This is actually how John Carpenter and Kurt Russell met and became friends, and then they worked on several other films like Escape from New York, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, and Escape from LA. That's most of what people take away from this film, is this is how they met and became friends and collaborators. I think that's probably the biggest thing that came out of this film, is their collaboration. This isn't very much like the performances you expect from Kurt Russell in a Carpenter movie. I don't think this is really a Carpenter movie. It's more of kind of a Carpenter for hire, like Memoirs of an Invisible Man or Starman. Although those three films have at least some interesting special effects to watch, this is different because it's just a 70s TV movie biopic, and it's really a director for hire thing. John Carpenter got the gig because they found out he did the music for Halloween, and they felt if it's a director who knows music, maybe he'll do a better job than just a regular TV movie director. And this was a big year for John Carpenter. He had done Someone's Watching Me, which is another TV movie which came out in early 1978, and then he did Halloween. And then right after wrapping Halloween, he went on and worked on this. So he did like 3 films back to back. They were all fairly cheap. I mean, this film only had a budget of about $2 million for a 3-hour TV epic. That's pretty impressive, and he makes good use of the camera. There's a lot of simple camera setups that he makes the most of a lot of the time. I mean, there's certain times where he'll have a tracking shot or a pan, and it'll say a lot more than I think most people would. They would need a lot more coverage, but he was very economical in how he used his camera movements, and I think he learned that through doing Halloween and used the lessons he learned from Halloween. I mean, if you look at the opening shot of Halloween, it's basically like 4 shots, and in this film he did a lot of things quite like that to just keep this film moving. I mean, I think they shot it in like a month. That's really impressive because it is kind of like this very long epic. It also has Shelley Winters as Elvis's mom. Shelley Winters is really good in anything, but I thought she did a good job as Elvis's mom, and her and Kurt Russell playing against each other was fun to watch. Kurt Russell has an interesting cinematic relationship with Elvis. His first movie he worked on was It Happened at the World's Fair, and that's how he met Elvis, and he was in that with Elvis. And Elvis was actually 27 when he made that film, and when Kurt Russell played Elvis in this film, he was 27. It's kind of a weird coincidence. And then Kurt Russell went on to do the voice of Elvis in Forrest Gump. In that one part, he's uncredited, but that is Kurt Russell. And then he played an Elvis impersonator in 3,000 Miles to Graceland. So he does have an interesting relationship with Elvis. And I think he's pretty good at playing Elvis. I mean, he actually knew him. He met him when he was a kid. I don't think he was that close to him, but he did meet him when he was younger. He did a fairly good job portraying him. There were only a few times it felt like he was kind of doing an impression, but I liked him. I saw the Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, almost like a mini-series about Elvis. It was like 2006 or 2007. I enjoyed this film a lot more than that film because this, I mean, Carpenter at least kind of gets into Elvis, and you get into his psyche a little bit, and you understand like why he kind of got kind of crazy famous. The death of his mother and the military service really is a turning point in his career, especially after he comes back from Germany. You really do get like why he's become just strange character. Although he didn't have a lot of time to show all of it. I mean, certainly certain topics felt rushed, but this is a fairly long, exhausting movie. I was surprised I made it through because it's just ridiculously long. I like this a lot more than I like most biopic TV movies, and it kind of shows what Carpenter could have done. He didn't really leave the horror and sci-fi and action genre that much and didn't have that many opportunities, but it kind of shows how talented Carpenter is, and there's kind of a masterfulness to how he even directed this TV movie. This shows the period that Carpenter was in when he could make something for incredibly cheap in a short amount of time and make it look like a real artful master director, and that was really the kind of stuff he could deliver. Now after this he would go on to do The Fog, which I like a lot more than Elvis. This film got released theatrically outside of the US, but in the US it played on TV. It actually played on ABC one night against Gone with the Wind on CBS and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on NBC. This aired on ABC, and it got better ratings in both of them. I don't think this movie is at all better than either of those two movies. That's pretty impressive, and it got Kurt Russell an Emmy nomination. If you're a real Carpenter completist and you want to show off to people and they're like, they've seen every Carpenter film, and you're like, no, but have you seen Elvis? You know, I guess you can say that. It's not terrible, but it is a bit strenuous in one viewing, so maybe, you know, cut it up into 2. But if you're an Elvis fan, I think you'd probably enjoy it, and if you're a Carpenter fan, you'd probably like it. But this isn't one of his best, but it's interesting to see what he could have done for it with a TV movie. And if you look at the beginning, you can see him in a little cameo in the Las Vegas casino. So if you have seen Elvis and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to. And it should be done with the John Carpenter movie soon. Kind of running out of them.